Jerry Green, what are you hearing? What are your thoughts about that situation? We heard the gentleman who showed up at Wolf Chase because of his concern, obviously, for his wife. What are your thoughts?
My heart is heavy. You know, I am somebody who's had gun violence impact their life 3 times. I've lost people to gun violence. And, you know, I still have kids who are in school that go through active shooting, not drills, but active shooters and lockdowns. And I know that when that's happening, I'm not okay, even though I can call the chief of police or I can call the superintendent of schools and say, is this real? Is this threat? Is everybody all right? And my children aren't okay when that happens. So I feel for that man. I feel for the people in there and their families. There's trauma even in, you know, experiencing this and surviving. And to that point, I would say, please reach out to our community services agency. We have a crime victim center and they have counseling services available after incidents like this. And I hope people will avail themselves to it if they need it.
Jeff Warren, this obviously hits close to home for a lot of folks who are watching right now who either have friends, loved ones out there or could have been out there. Your thoughts?
Alex, I think we as a society are experiencing almost post-traumatic stress disorder from this, in that we are so scared and so nervous, you know, because you don't know when you might be in that sort of situation. And it's affecting us emotionally, and it's also affecting our city economically. Okay, when people are scared that they can't go shop at Wolf Chase, or they're scared that they can't come downtown and go to Beale Street for a meal, when they're scared they can't go out at night, those things are not a healthy environment to raise your family or your kids, or to live in. So that's why it's so important that we get help from Nashville to allow us to have some sensible gun regulation, and then help to get us more policemen. We need financial help to get our police department up, and then we need to do things like make sure that we have our jail in the right place, our courts working. We need help with all that stuff. I don't think we really need ICE taking away people who are working in our city in mask. You know, if you talk about level of anxiety, having people drive around masked, jumping out of cars and pulling people away, I don't know how much more scared you can get.
Jerry Green, how scary is this?
To me, it's really scary. You know, I'm thinking it's the holiday season and people want to go to the mall and start shopping for their loved ones. And I agree with Dr. Warren that we do need help from Nashville, whether that is in the form of allowing us to do some common sense gun regulation.
But do you really think that will happen, though? Especially as sometimes that relationship between Nashville and Memphis or some of the state lawmakers can be very contentious.
Let me tell you what I've done on the county side is I started a free gun lock by mail program. In the 2 years we've had it, we've given out over 2,000 gun locks. That's because the state passed the ability for us to have our guns in our cars unstored, unlocked. And they took it statewide. And what we've seen over those last 2 years here in Memphis is a 25% reduction in our violent crime. And those guns stolen out of cars could be traced back to our violent crime. So we know that when we reduce guns stolen out of cars, we reduce violent crime. I've done one small thing, which is make gun locks even more available. Nashville could do the next thing. Now, they did like that program and they took it statewide. There is some common ground for us to follow on, but they just need to look at people and see how they're suffering. You know, like Dr. Warren was saying, see how our economy's suffering and say, you know what, enough is enough.
Jeff Warren?
You know, I think if we don't ask, and what we have to do is we have to realize as Memphians, the people who are in these rural counties, they're being blackmailed by the NRA. It's not like they hate us. It's they're worried that if they do this, the NRA is going to run someone against them the next time and take them out. So we have to be able to provide them cover.
Right now we're being told some additional information is coming into us right now. This is coming from Wolf Chase Galleria Mall. We're apparently being told that some of the employees who work there are actually gathering, or at least being told to leave the premises to go outside to the parking lot area, I guess obviously for their own safety. We see some of the pictures right there, people gathering as we speak. Councilwoman Green, what thoughts come to mind when you see these images right here? Folks worried about what's going on, concerned about, you know, co-workers, friends, or whoever was out there.
Well, I mean, you can see the concern on their faces. This is very reminiscent of when a shooting happened in Walmart in my district, and there were people who were either there trying to find their loved ones or had just left the store and were shaken. And we made sure to try to connect them with counseling services and with our crime victims unit, because this is the sort of thing that will stay with you for days, months, even longer. And so my heart goes out to them, and I am hopeful that we find out that the loss of life, if there is any, is minimal, and that safety precautions are put in place afterwards. But you can tell people are clearly in distress, and my heart goes out to them.
And obviously, Jeff Warren, we're still waiting for additional information to come in. We don't have a lot of answers right now as to what was happening. We can almost sense the urgency of a matter that's unfolding live in front of us.
Yeah, as I said, Alex, hopefully the tagline I just read on the screen where it said no active shooter site secured means that whoever did this must have fled, and hopefully we'll be able to find them with the number of extra people that we have here working with the police department at this point.
But where do we turn for answers? I mean, not to oversimplify it, but
I think let's back up and back off of some of the things that we've done that have got us here. Allow us to regulate guns in cars. Allow us to make people who have a gun get a license in the city of Tennessee. Allow us to ban automatic weapons, except for police and military. Allow us to do things that will make our city safer. I mean, people that live out in the countryside, people that want to take an automatic weapon and shoot it at a firing range, we can make rules that let things like that happen, and in our city, in our county, let us try to do something different, because what we're doing isn't working. And by definition, doing the same thing over and over again is insanity when it's not working.
Jerry Green, can we do something different here, especially at this very moment in time?
We can, and I think one thing that we've worked on council is especially some investments in mental health supports. And we've got to continue to invest in that, whether that is places like Alliance, whether that is youth counseling. We've got to make sure that we are talking to the people who are troubled and see where we can put our dollars and our focus on that as well. We definitely need police. We definitely need better regulations, but we have to find these people who are hurting as well. We can see that our suicide rates are rising by gun violence. It's especially terrible for our veterans, as we just passed Veterans Day, and for our teenage girls, actually, which is a really horrible stat. But we've got to find ways to support people in addition. And again, that takes resources. We don't just need the state to be putting in money for militarization. We need them to put it in for mental health supports as well.
Mm-hmm. What's your gut feeling, Jeff Warren, about Governor Bill Lee and what he's able to provide Memphis with?
I think the people in Nashville really want to help us. And I think, unfortunately, because their background hasn't lent them to understand our situation as well as we do, there's been a lot of unnecessary antagonism between us and our colleagues in Nashville. And I think they need to realize—
Are you saying this on both sides?
Both sides. And I think they need to understand that we respect them and that we understand that they're in a tough situation too. We just need to reach out and say, we need your help. Help us, and we'll try to help you help us if we can.
Jerry Green, a step in the direction maybe we should be taking?
I hope so, but like you said, it's very far gone. Governor Lee signed permitless carry in a Beretta factory. He had a special session after the Covenant shooting. He knew someone who was killed in that, and still not a single piece of legislation came out of that was productive around gun violence. Certainly nothing that helped us here in Memphis. If you go talk to the people at Le Bonheur that help the children who are injured, not the ones who died, but the ones who are injured, they will tell you that we've got to do more, right? If you go to Region 1 or to any of our trauma centers and they tell you about, on a regular Tuesday night, they'll see 42 people who are injured with gun violence. They'll tell you we've got to do more. I wish that Governor Lee and Cameron Sexton would come and spend a night in some of those hospitals, come ride around with our police officers. You ask police officers what are they most afraid of on any given ride, it's going up and doing a traffic stop because they don't know who has what in their car, because anybody's allowed to get a gun without a permit and they can carry it unlocked in their car. So we're putting our first responders at risk. I think that it is very extreme at this point. As Dr. Warren has alluded to, a lot of them are beholden to gun lobbyists. And so I would just ask for a bit of humanity. Like, they should watch those videos of people that have their hands on their head and are upset and sick to their stomach and say, what are you doing for them?
But at the same time, a lot of people may be listening to us. Are we saying our hands are tied here in Memphis and Shelby County?
They're not tied. We voted. Okay, we as a community voted over 80% that we want to be able to regulate. So we voted that. Okay, so we know what we want as a community. So I think what we do is we start writing Nashville, right? You know, our local